Here we go. We're going to start off with the one that Old Man Grim just sent us, which is Alyssa Mercante apparently coping and seething. Alyssa Mercante on her Blue Sky put up this post, and it says, farming a lawsuit brought on by your content for content. Apparently, this person is highly upset that Smash JT put out a video talking about the lawsuit that he himself is involved in. Imagine being upset that somebody who's getting sued is utilizing that lawsuit for content, but then you do it as well, right? You utilize it for your tweets, you utilize it for your Blue Sky. I don't understand why this is such a big deal. What's the problem? Are you worried? Are you scared? Are you upset? Because now you know this is where you have a 50-50 shot, although I think it's much worse than that. Well, let's go by the actual odds. Now that the dismissal has officially been filed, now it's up to the courts to decide whether or not they're going to continue with the case. And if you get denied, I hope you realize there's going to be a clusterfuck of bad press coming your way. I'm sure you know that too, but that's fine. I'm sure you expect that. That's the little fast topic number one. Fast topic number two. Did you guys see this hilarious clip going around from Dragon Ball Daima? Look at this hilarious clip, man. Vegeta is the ultimate gooner. Look at it. Although he's not really a gooner because this is his wife, but still. You guys already know how he goons for Bulma. Check this out. That's just hilarious, bro. And the crazy thing is that is such a Toriyama joke, but unfortunately Toriyama is no longer with us, but they still managed to get the humor down pat. All it took was Bulma saying she would no longer take a bath with him, and he immediately said, fine, I'll let you take over. It's all right. Fuck it. If there's one thing that Vegeta cares more about than than pride, is his vagina. Not his vagina, his wife's vagina. There you go. I fucked that up twice. All right, next topic. Third topic. Here we go. Shout out to Arch. Apparently, Avowed is banning users for engaging in anti-DEI behavior, which is not allowed on their Steam forums, apparently. So Avowed is having or the community manager, I should say, whoever it is having a great time moderating their forums. If you can read this here, which I don't think you can. So here, let me bring up the picture so you guys can see it. It's a little bit bigger here. Let me bring this up really quick. So I was going to make a video on this, but I'm like, you know what? It's probably just better if I make a fast topic on it. You have been banned from the Avowed Community Hub. And if you look here, apparently somebody was quote posting somebody that said, so then not a single person would ever grow out of it or detransition because they are trans, right? So why is there so many detransition stories? And this person is like, well, Wikipedia says that there is not many, so there's not many. And basically, it was a back and forth about pronouns, trans ideology, and all that stuff. So apparently, by the person questioning trans and detransition stories, by them trying to bring that up, according to the community manager, that apparently is anti-DEI. Look at what it says. Ban reason. User was found engaging in anti-DEI, which is not tolerated on this forum. Bro, come on. Are we serious right now? Again, this is the kind of bad press that a game should not have, right? Just like when we were talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and how the community managers over there on the Steam forums, before everything changed and Deep Silver came in and reverted the changes, they were trying to do the same exact thing. Before Deep Silver came in and was like, hold up, we're going to allow these discussions again. Let's not get too censorious. But before that, the community managers were trying to get super censorious over on Steam. And this is exactly what's happening here with Avowed. They're trying to ban people for being anti-DEI. So it's like, okay, well, that's retarded. Perhaps Perhaps you should not do that, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so I just wanted to bring that up to you guys. If I find any more examples, am I surprised? No, of course not. Of course not. I'm not surprised. You guys got to understand, man. A lot of these community managers are all like the same. They all think the same. They act the same. They look the same. They dress the same. Practically, they're all the same. So it's not shocking that a company like Obsidian is going to hire a community manager that acts like that. But then again, even if you want to look at a supposedly based studio, right? It doesn't matter, based or not based. Community managers are totally separate, and they're usually woke psychopaths normally. So yeah, nobody's surprised by this, man. They're all the same fucking talking points, same NPCs, every single one of them. And at this point, they really should be putting in more effort into making sure they hire proper community managers, because I can't even count on two hands how many video games have been hurt or even killed because of what a community manager did. I honestly can't. There's more than what you can count on two hands. There's so many games that got affected by bad community managers. Helldivers 2 is probably a really good example of that. Helldivers 2 is a prime example of a community manager or multiple community managers fucking over the video game that everybody was loving up until that point. So community managers are the bane of the gaming industry right now. Anyway, moving on. So now we got another funny topic. Fast topic number 5. This shit is hilarious. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I saw this about 40 minutes or so before I went live. From Breitbart News, just in, transgender actor Hunter Schafer reveals his passport has been updated to reflect his male sex per a Trump executive order. Trans people are beautiful. We are never going to stop existing, Schafer says in defiance. I am never going to stop being trans. A letter on a passport can't change that. And fuck this administration. I want to watch this meltdown. And I'm sure you guys want to watch this meltdown too. So let's watch this meltdown.
I had to get this fixed and get it replaced with a real proper passport, which I went to the Federal Passport Agency today in LA and did. I've had to do this one time before. No part of the process was different. I filled everything out just like I normally would. I put female, and when it was picked up today, and
he's fuming. He is fuming. I don't know if you could tell, guys, but he is fuming. The cheeks are red, and it's not because of makeup only. This man is fuming.
They had changed the marker to male. And like, I want to acknowledge my privilege, like not only as a like famous or like celebrity.
Wow, the narcissism.
Is white and thin and can adhere to like contemporary beauty standards. And
my God. You know what? Maybe he is a woman. Maybe he is a woman. He's got the narcissism down packed. He's got the fake empathy down packed. Holy shit. Maybe he is a woman. He sure is doing it the right way. Holy crap. That's insanity.
Can participate in all of that. And I pass, and
you got to acknowledge my privilege. I acknowledge my privilege of being white, thin, and adhering to contemporary beauty standards. But I have a dick.
It still happened.
Which, by the way, shout out to YouTube. I know YouTube doesn't like when I talk about trans people, but let it be known the Trump administration has done this executive order. So me referencing him by his actual sex is not a bad thing. Never was, by the way, but now it's definitely not. So again, it's not hatred to reference someone by their actual real sex. It's not hatred to reference somebody by what they biologically are. And now more than ever, it is not hatred. So you could get angry all you want. You'll probably end up taking down this video too, for all I fucking know. But all I'm doing is covering a video, watching this person melt down.
Fuck that they put an M on my passport. It doesn't change really anything about me or my transness. However, it does make life a little harder.
Well, no, it's like, so I've always said this. and I will maintain this position, right? When it comes to trans people, you want to exist, you're an adult, I don't give a fuck. You want to become trans and fuck with your own psyche, I don't care. You're an adult, do whatever you want to do, I don't care. Right? You're not my family, I don't give a fuck what you do. As long as you're above age, I don't care. My thing, though, where it becomes a problem is when your made up imaginary identity now tries to become legitimate through legal documentation. The same documentation that gets utilized in analytics that get archived and stored for people to research in the future. Now, unfortunately, over the last few years, our numbers are going to be so fucked up because you got all these people doing fake identities that have legal paperwork showing them. And 10, 20 years from now, when people want to, for example, research testicular cancer and its growth over the years, they're going to have to say that at some point, testicular cancer affected women. And the reason why they have to do that is because our paperwork literally says that. So that's where it becomes a problem. That's where it becomes an issue. Your legal paperwork should represent who you were born as. So that way, statistically speaking, in the future, when we go based off these analytics and we look at this information, we can have accurate information to figure things out in the future, or even just now for that matter. But that's not going to happen if you are forging legal paperwork. But now you're not allowed to do that. So that's basically what's happening. That's basically what's happening here. You're not allowed to do that anymore. But that doesn't affect your identity. That doesn't affect who you walk around as, you know, in real life as a person. That doesn't affect the fact that you're trans in real life. You can still keep being that. You're just going to have an M on your license now, which you should.
Personally, I think, I haven't tested it out yet. I'll find out next week when I have to travel abroad for the first time with my new passport. But I'm pretty sure it's going to come along with having to out myself to like Border Patrol agents and that whole gig much more often than I would like to or is really necessary. I just want to say trans people are beautiful.
If trans people are beautiful, what's wrong with telling everybody you're trans? I don't understand the problem. What's wrong with outing yourself as trans? If trans people are so beautiful, if it's something to be celebrated, if it's something for everybody to just be so happy about, then you should have no issue telling people that you're trans. Oh, so you gotta give them a passport? The only thing I can think of is that somebody might think that your passport is maybe fake because it has M and you're portraying yourself as a woman. But aside from that, that's the only thing that I can see. But I like how this absolute psycho believes in white privilege. Isn't that amazing? You got white privilege, you got thin privilege, you got fucking celebrity privilege, this is just a major privileged person. But apparently you got so much privilege that you could sit here and melt down over having to tell people the truth. It's incredible.
We are never going to stop existing. I'm never going to stop being trans.
Nobody said you are. Nobody said you're going to stop existing. Nobody said you're going to stop being trans. All we're saying is the legal paperwork that you utilize every day to move around in this country should reflect accurate information. That's all it is. Accurate biological information. On your license, it doesn't say gender. It says sex. Aren't you the people that always say gender and sex is separate? Aren't you the ones that always say that? That's the first thing you go to when people say you're actually a man. So guess what? It says sex. It doesn't say gender. So guess what that means? That shit needs to be accurate. Your sex is a man. It is what it is.
A letter and a passport can't change that, and fuck this administration. And I don't really have an answer on what to do about this, but I feel it was important to share. This is real. So, yeah, fuck.
I'm sure you felt like it was important for you to share. I'm sure you did. because you're narcissistic. That's basically it. So, okay, that was fast. Again, nobody cares, man. Absolute psychopath. And at this point, just you got to deal with it, man. We're going back to normalcy again. Fuck this whole, oh, my identity bullshit. Like, fuck that, bro. Nobody cares about that, man. Nobody cares. All right, fast topic number 6, man. Fast topic number 6. We got Pirate Nation. Now, again, every time I see posts like this, I automatically assume that it's fake. Just number one. But I want to share it just for the hilarity of it, in case, number one, it is real. And number two, there is, in fact, people that think like this. There is. Even if this particular post may not be real, there are people that genuinely do believe this. But the reason why I think it's fake is because every time a controversial game comes up, this same exact post is always made, almost word for word. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? It's always the same shit. So anyway, let's read this post. This was on the Avowed gameplay discussion forums. It's Reddit. Yeah, no. It's screenshotted from Reddit, but the post itself was in the Avowed gameplay discussion. So just listen to what this says. I feel like this is rage bait, like literal rage bait, engagement bait, but whatever. Anyway, it says racist bigotry won again. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Does your day feel that little bit better knowing a great developer comprised of hardworking folks is going to likely be shut down over this? All because you can't whack off to ugly character designs and cry about woke games all the time? Get the memo. This game wasn't for you in the first place. Yeah, I am happy. Simple. I feel like that's a simple answer. Yes, I am happy. I'm glad you noticed that. Just like we told the BioWare developer yesterday when he was like, "Stop being cruel to the," like, no. My thing is, if you make a product that's trash, and I bought that product, I have a right to criticize it. And if you're upset over the criticism, perhaps, maybe, the internet is not for you. Because this has been happening forever. We talked about it yesterday. We gave examples yesterday that are over a decade old. Some of them even more than that. Criticism is allowed to exist, and it doesn't have to always come from a nice place. It's inherently against the word criticism. Unless you're looking for specifically constructive criticism, which is usually more on the positive side of things. But even then, it can be deemed as negative because people just don't like it. That's what it is. People just don't like criticism. So again, this might be fake, most likely, but I think it's hilarious because, like I said, there are people out there that do believe this. There are people like this that do think like this. And so when I see these posts, even if they are fake, I still talk about them because it's this kind of a game, right? Avowed is just that kind of a game. All right, moving on to the next one. So if you guys were unaware, I didn't know this, but apparently Avowed was originally pitched as a Destiny meets Skyrim game. And if you guys remember Avowed over in 2020, when the first trailer was released, it didn't look anything like the game that we got. If you guys remember the 2020 trailer. However, the game was apparently pitched as a Destiny meets Skyrim video game. And then on top of that, which makes it even, so basically like a live service Skyrim. That's basically what they wanted. They wanted a live service Skyrim. But not only that, I didn't know if you know this, but the game was rebooted twice. So much for that low budget. This game was rebooted twice over the course of its development. It says right here, the Avowed we know now wasn't the Avowed that was being worked on several years ago. Rather, it was being pitched as a multiplayer title, combining elements of Destiny and Skyrim. Via reboots and restructuring, the game honed in on established lore as well as open zones instead of an open world. So this was supposed to be a live service Skyrim, basically, which honestly, that sounds a little bit scary to me. I'm not going to lie to you. That sounds worse. That sounds worse than what we actually ended up getting. But see, this is the problem, right? This is the problem. They constantly want to make everything live service. They're even trying to make Elden Ring into a live service game with Night Rain, which again, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that game yet. because what I've been seeing, I'm not exactly very excited about. But this is what they're aiming for. They're aiming for live service everything. And they don't realize that there's just not enough players to go around to make live service everything. That's also why so many live service games keep failing. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a prime example of a live service game that failed. X-Defiant is another example of a live service game that failed. Marvel Avengers is another example. You could keep going and going and going. There just isn't enough players that want that type of content. People want good single-player video games. Maybe you could have a co-op mode. That's different. But people are looking for solid titles, not this live service shit that they promise to turn into something 5 years from now, but buy it today and give us money. No, nobody, like most people aren't looking for that. Bring back good co-op games. Bring back fucking good single-player games, which I think they are, by the way, especially China, but that's besides the point. All right, next topic. What is this, number like 8? I don't know. I lose count. This is a big one. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Marvel Rivals was reportedly almost canceled because NetEase did not want to pay for the characters. Now, think about that for a second. And this is how you know NetEase is cheap as fuck. They didn't want to pay for the Marvel licensing and the characters and everything like that. They didn't want to do it. So they almost canceled the game. Now look at them. They're making billions of dollars, literally. I think the last number I saw was they made well over like 3 or 4 fucking like billion. I don't even know how much it was. It was insane. Sources speaking to Bloomberg make several claims about the mindset of NetEase's CEO, William Ding. One of these claims is that he wanted to cancel Marvel Rivals over payments to Disney. To avoid these payments, Ding allegedly asked artists to swap Marvel characters out with original characters. That would have never worked. That would have never, ever worked. I guarantee you that this game would not have been anywhere near as successful if it was for if they actually ended up going with original characters. It's the fact that they gave Marvel characters the respect is the entire reason why people are playing this game. Truthfully, I'm sure the game is fun. People talk about it all the time. I'm sure. But quite frankly, it's because you're giving people the actual real characters, not the DEI versions of them. You're giving them the proper Storm. You're giving them the proper Hulk, especially. Not the fucking bitch Hulk. You're giving them real Hulk. You're giving them real Venom. You know what I mean? You're giving them the real Marvel characters that have been basically abandoned in the movies in the West. So people finally are like, oh, this is interesting. So again, I just find it interesting that they were one step away from potentially canceling this game just because they didn't want to pay. But again, it's China. When the fuck does China ever want to pay? China never wants to pay. Why do you think they got rid of like a couple of studios in the West? Because they don't want to pay for it. Even though they're making billions of dollars, doesn't matter. It does not matter. NetEase has made billions upon billions of dollars. It is disgusting. But that's besides the point anyway. Next topic. Moving along. We got Snow White. Now, this is funny. Now, you guys know there's a whole bunch of drama happening right now with Disney and Snow White. Snow White is still supposedly going to be coming out soon. I'm sure it won't get delayed again. But apparently there is so much backlash going on with this movie that now the new marketing strategy for Snow White is to start marketing the movie with clips from the 1937 animated movie to try to essentially trick fans into their nostalgia and try to trick them into going to watch the movie, which is hilarious, by the way. I wonder, is this a clip of it? Let me see. Hold on. Let's see what we got. Yeah. Yep.
Magic mirror on the.
Yep. That's literally what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're trying. Look at them. They're trying to phase in the animated clips. Look at that. You got Snow White and then you got Farquaad. That's what they're doing, man. That's what they're doing. They're trying to adhere to your nostalgia. Look, it says to return to the magical story. This is not going to be the same story. This is not going to be the same story. Let it be known. If you truly go to Snow White and you think this is going to be the same story, I feel fucking bad for you. I really do, because I feel like that is such a trick. That is such a trick to fall for. It's insane. It is insane. Anyway, let's finish it.
So while you work,
Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all?
Oh God. It's so obviously like desperate. At this point, Disney is extremely desperate to try to get as many seats in there as possible, to try to like trick as many people as humanly possible to go see this film, because we all know that movies usually live or die by their first week. So however strong their first week is usually how it's going to carry through. But Disney is desperately trying to convince people that this is going to be the same experience, and it's not. So even this part, look, when they're dancing with the dwarves, look at this. You got Snow White dancing with the non-creepy dwarves, and then you got Farquaad dancing with the fucking sex offenders. Look at this shit. Makes no sense, man. It's so stupid. Anyway, I just wanted to showcase that to you, ladies and gentlemen. I thought it was pretty damn hilarious. And it just goes to show that these people will continue to be unbelievably desperate for, I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know what their end goal is, really. I guess it's not to lose a lot of money, but let's be real. Number one, have they announced their official budget? Because you all know they make up the budget, right? Like what's happening with Captain America and the Brave New World. You know how they're all trying to say, oh, it's $180 million budget. We promise. No, it's not. No, it's not. It was $180 million before the reshoots. It's been proven, but they're trying to run with that story. I wonder what they're going to say this budget is. I wonder what they're going to lie and say this budget for this movie is. I'm sure they're probably going to say something under $200 million again. But the budget for this film is well into the $300 millions, easily. And that's not including marketing. Easily. This movie has been reshot like crazy. Not only that, they had to now make up fucking cinematic sex offenders. They had to make up digital sex offenders. So they're not using the DEI dwarves like they had before. They're just using the fucking digital sex offenders. That's what they're using. So that costs money. That's not cheap. CGI is not cheap, right? So it's got to be well over $300 million. It has to be. It has to be. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening, and we'll see if they actually announce the budget. But I don't think they're going to. I think they are going to avoid all bad press with this particular movie as much as they possibly humanly can, within reason. Obviously, it's going to be easier said than done, but again, within reason. Anyway, okay, we got one more story. Hold on. We got one more story. Let me bring it up. I thought I had it saved. I did not have it saved. Here we go. So, guys, they're coping and seething. They're coping and seething over Yasuke Simulator. I released a video about this today, so make sure to check it out on the channel. All the topics we're talking about today, some of them I made videos on, so check it out on the channel today. The gamer is melting down. Rhiannon Bevan, this urinalist, is melting down, okay? And they're melting down because, quite frankly, they're angry over Yasuke Simulator launching on the same day as Assassin's Creed Shadows. And they're trying to make it seem as if it's, basically like a racist thing. It is an insulting thing. It is like they don't get the joke, right? These people have a stick so far up their ass, they don't get the joke. They don't understand why it's funny, right? Look at this. I want you to read the cope really quick. Assassin's Creed Shadows is launching on March 20th after multiple delays. However, it won't be the only game that you play as a samurai Yasuke that's launching on that day, as a very, very blatant ripoff is going live too. Bro, how is Yasuke Simulator a ripoff? How? Seriously. It uses almost no assets from Assassin's Creed Shadows, if any. I don't think it uses any. What are you gonna say? Because the black guy's got samurai armor on, that that's somehow a ripoff? How the fuck is that a ripoff? Did you not say that black samurais existed? So what's the problem with putting a black guy in a samurai armor? There's nothing here that they utilize that rips off from Shadows. And then she's trying to say, well, they're making the game take place at the same year as Assassin's Creed Shadows. Okay. Yasuke was only in Japan for 15 months with Oda Nobunaga. You don't exactly have much time to differentiate on the time period. So the developers are called historically accurate developers, right? What's the name of their studio? Historically Accurate Studios, something like that. So right here, history accurate developers. That's the name of the studio. So if it's history accurate developers, and they're going to put it in the same year as Assassin's Creed Shadows. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? I don't understand the problem. It sounds like to me you are coping. And here's how we know they're coping, right? So check this out. The creatively titled Yasuke Simulator has appeared on Steam, also launching on March 20th. Though its premise and product description, it's clearly trying to copy Assassin's Creed Shadows, even being set in the same year. However, this one has been thrown together with generative AI and has the same vibe as the many other knockoffs that appear on Steam. Let me ask you guys a question. For those of you who are thinking about buying, Assassin's Creed, Yasuke Simulator. For those of you thinking about buying Yasuke Simulator, how many of you give a fuck that the game is made with AI? Are you buying this game with the understanding that you're going to get a top tier product? Is anybody buying Yasuke Simulator and thinking to themselves, I'm buying the next AAA banger? Obviously not. It is a meme game. It is a literal joke. Nobody gives a fuck about the AI. Nobody gives a fuck about how the game is made. All they're doing is buying the game as a meme and a joke and a funny. That's literally it. That's all it is. People are buying the game as a meme and a joke and a funny. And not only that, a lot of streamers are probably going to stream the game as well. I can't blame these developers. They're smart as hell for capitalizing on Ubisoft's retardation. But that's what it is. That's what it's for. This is a meme on a AAA title. That's all it is. So people are buying it knowing that. At least I hope they are anyway. I really hope they are. If you guys buy Yasuke Simulator and you're expecting not to have a broken slop game, something's wrong. Really, seriously, something's wrong. But there's so much cope. Look at this. They're trying to say, oh, it has repeating assets, and AAA games have repeating assets. Assassin's Creed is known to have repeating assets. Now, all of a sudden, repeating assets are a problem? Why? Because it's so blatantly obvious? And when I was playing Unknown 9 Awakening, it was repeating assets everywhere. What are we talking about? Repeating assets are everywhere. But the best part is they get so mad because of the fact that you can pick up vehicles and guns, which by the way, you can ride a lowrider in the game and pick up a machine gun, sniper rifle. That's very lore accurate, by the way. Yasuke was proven to use guns back in his day. Then it says those who have been crying about Assassin's Creed Shadows since it was revealed that Yasuke would be one of the player characters appear to think this is a big own against Ubisoft. I find it so amazing that you're claiming that we were crying about Assassin's Creed Shadows when we had legitimate concerns, and yet here you are crying and bitching about a meme game that nobody is concerned about. Isn't that incredible? So you could say we're crying about a game that's actually a AAA game that should be criticized versus a meme game that's a joke that nobody takes seriously, and you're crying about it because it goes against your DEI overlord. It's insane. And while there is a chance that someone really went to this much effort to attack Assassin's Creed for featuring a black samurai, how is this game an attack on Shadows? And then they try to say with the dog whistly dev name, history accurate developers. It's not entirely clear what the joke is. After all, it just looks like any number of poorly thrown together ripoffs that appear on marketplaces. Bro, Should I play the song? I'm gonna play the song. I have not seen this much cope in a long time.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
Sorry, I had to play it because she was coping so damn hard. I don't even know if this is a female because let's be real, guys. Let's be real. Anytime we see supposed woman do I guess what you would call like an animated profile picture like this, where it's them, but it's animated to look better. Anytime you see this, that is 95% of the time a trans person. Let me see if I can find pictures. 95% of the time, not all the time, but 95% of the time. No, we might actually have a real woman on our hands. Hold on, this is a real woman. This is a real woman. Hold on, let me see. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's hard to tell with just a face picture. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. She got that collapsed jaw though. Like her chin ran away from her ideology. This shit's crazy. That shit is crazy. But it might be a real woman. Who knows? Maybe. You never know, though. But regardless, whether it's a woman or not, she is 100% coping. No doubt about it. And at this point, I think it's hilarious that you know what I think this is? I think that this is cope because these people genuinely fear the idea that, again, I don't think it's going to happen. But they genuinely fear the idea of Yasuke Simulator doing better numbers than Assassin's Creed Shadows on Steam. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. I really do believe that they are scared of that. So that's why they are coping so much about Yasuke Simulator, because they're all talking about Yasuke Simulator. Every single one of them are talking about it at this point. So in any case, that's basically it. I think that takes up all the fast topics. Let me just make sure, double check. Yes, it does. All right. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the fast topics.